Hello there, Capricorns. Thank you so much for stopping by for your Capricorn June 11th and going forward video. This is a video that talks about a life cycle that you're going through right now. Generally, a life cycle normally takes about 30 days to work all the way through, just depending, how quickly you process through the lesson or experience of the life cycle. So some of you may already be partway through this life cycle. In fact, I think most of you will be. And so it may not take 30 days from today for you to complete. For some of you, it's just going to take a day or two, or you might just be right on the edge of completing and going to the next one. And for others of you, it'll take a little longer. But I have already shuffled, laid out the cards, and we're going to see what happens. I am in a different setting than usual, so we're just doing some interesting stuff. I am kind of on the move, so we'll just see what happens in the upcoming days as far as my chances to make videos and where I can do that. But anyway, let's start with you, Capricorn. What we have coming up first talks to me about your environment. And your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. For most people, it is home, but sometimes it shows up as work or school as well. And this card that's showing up here tells me that you're not feeling very safe and secure in your environment right now. You're feeling like things are a little bit topsy-turvy as far as security there. Hello there, Pam. Glad to see you. Thank you. Or Sarah, excuse me. Next thing that we have coming up talks to me about your subconscious leanings, Capricorn. What we have showing up here is a card that talks to me about there's some kind of romantic action that you want to take. Maybe you're sort of dreaming about that. Hello there, Manuela. Glad to see you, honey. Glad you're here. So there's some kind of romantic action that you would like to take. Maybe you're dreaming about taking. Your subconscious is really working on, okay, how can I make this a plan? How can I actually make this happen? If, for some of you, this is not going to be romantic per se, but for others of you, this is going to be action of pampering yourself, doing something to pamper yourself or to treat yourself that your subconscious is working on. How can I pull this off? How can I swing this? How can I make this happen? All right, so the next thing that we have coming up talks to me about two different things. It talks to me, first of all, about your learning style, and secondly, about your communication style. So right now, as far as how you're picking up new information, I see that that's very much hands-on. The more you get to interact with your information, the more information that you're able to pick up and make good practical use of in your everyday life. Now, as far as communication style, I do think that there's a lot going on as far as emails, as far as maybe even things in writing. I think that you are working on contracts or proposals for contracts, or you are doing some kind of application process to bring in grants, to bring in proposals, to bring in contracts, something like that. But there is something going on where you're doing some very formal style of communication right now, Capricorns. Now, next thing that we have coming up talks to me about work. Those of you who have been watching me a while know that work has to do with two things for me. It has to do with that thing that we do to make a living, and it also has to do with those things that we do to improve our own self-character. So what I'm seeing is right now, as far as work as making a living, looks to me like, excuse me while I get comfortable, looks to me like you're not feeling like work is really bringing in the moolah that you would like it to bring in. There's something going on that, if you're doing something for yourself, maybe clients have slipped off. There's something going on where you're just not bringing in the money that you want to. And I think you're even getting news that may not be happening the way you want it to real soon with what you have been doing for work. This leads me to think that you guys may be considering, okay, what else can I do to bring money in, or do I need to shift and change what I do to bring money in? So I think there's some real thought going into work right now for you. Let's see. As far as inner work has to do with finding your own self-value right now, Capricorn. You're really working on, how important am I? Where do I fit in my family? Where do I fit in my society? Where do I fit in my workplace? How high up am I on the totem pole? Am I even on the totem pole at all? So really, inner work is figuring out your own self-worth And to me, this is more about figuring out your own self-worth, um, no matter what other people think your worth is. Figuring out for yourself what you're worth. Not looking through their lens, but looking through your own lens. Okay? Let's see. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about that part of your personality that's being grown or expanded right now. Capricorns, I do think that you're getting the opportunities to do some things that you really enjoy and you really like. And I think you are acting on those opportunities. Don't get me wrong. I don't have anything here that would imply that you're being irresponsible here at all. But I do think that you are focusing more on those things that make you happy. And because you're focusing more on them, you are able to do them in a responsible way. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about those things that you stand for. And what we have here is that you do have some responsibilities, Capricorn, that maybe other people are saying, why are you still worried about that? Why are you still taking care of that? A lot of people don't actually do this. A lot of people don't have that type of integrity that you're showing here. And it's not that big of a deal if you don't do this or do that or whatever. For some of you, it's about, paying child support. I don't know what it is for the rest of you, but I've got a strong impression that for some of you, people are saying, why are you paying child support? You don't really have to do that. A lot of people don't pay child support and they get away with it. I think you're still standing up for your responsibilities. You really, you want to contribute. You want to be somebody who is a stable part, even if it's financially, of your child's life. Now, this is not going to be child support for all of you, but whatever responsibility this is that somebody has said to you, why are you still doing this? You are very much, you're very vehement about the reasons for doing that. Manuela, no, I am not in Colorado anymore. I have moved from there to Missouri. And right now I'm actually out with a friend who drives a truck. And so I'm moving all over the place, kind of in transition. And in a couple of weeks, I'll be ready to actually move into my home. But for right now, this is what I'm doing. And it's kind of fun, actually. All right, so next thing that we're looking at, we're talking about next how other people perceive you. This is interesting because it is in direct contrast to what you're standing up for. You're standing up for your responsibilities, and yet other people are perceiving you as somebody who's flighty and who does things sort of last minute and off the cuff. And can be seen as very irresponsible, as shirking their responsibilities. So it's really interesting that somebody can be coming at you and saying, why are you holding up this responsibility? And you're defending and continuing to hold up that responsibility, and yet this person who's asking you, why are you holding up that responsibility, sees you as somebody who's actually shirking. That's kind of interesting. That makes me wonder, does that person have full set of marbles up there? How does that play out? That's interesting to me. Yeah, I would like to know the stories if you guys feel like putting that in the comments. So anyway, all of this stuff you should recognize. For most of you, you will recognize all of this stuff. It's kind of the setup of the lesson or the life cycle. Next, we'll look at the lesson or experience that sets you up for, which you may or may not recognize. That may still be in the future, or it may already be happening to you. And we'll look at what happens as you incorporate that lesson or experience into your life cycle, into your life as well. So, lesson or experience. I think that you guys have a new creative idea. And this kind of circles back to work. That, work is not financially what you are wanting it to be. And I think you have a new creative idea because you are looking for, okay, how can I create more income without breaking my back here? So you have a new idea about that. Now, when this comes in, because it shows up as a new idea, it doesn't necessarily tell me that you're acting on it yet. This can be an idea that you're just kicking around in your mind. You may not have shared it with other people. It doesn't necessarily have to have been something that you've shared so far. But you are sort of kicking this idea around and wondering, is this something I could actually really do? So as you've got this new idea, some things are happening. First of all, some of you are consulting with somebody like me to see, okay, if I pursue this, where is this going to go? Is this going to leave me better off or worse off? All right, so some of you are consulting with somebody who can divine the future in one way or another, whether that's through tarot cards or astrology or whatever that is your fortune telling of choice. Okay, but I do see a lot of you actually consulting somebody. By the way, since you're watching my video, pick me, pick me, pick me. I love to do readings. And let's move on. So the next thing, hello there, Tammy Bambi. Glad to see you in the room. So next thing that we have coming up as you are looking at this new idea and thinking about this and consulting with somebody else, I think what's going on here is that you're realizing that this new idea is going to take some time, energy, effort, finances from you. And so where you were giving people your time, energy, effort, or finances, or any combination thereof, you're going to be cutting back on that. You're going to be pulling back and realizing that that hasn't really been bringing the results that you wanted it to bring to start with, and that you have better use for that time, energy, resources, money, whatever it is. And so you're going to be sort of cutting off where you've been generous before, and you're realizing that it's not really been a productive situation. You're going to be cutting that off and really looking at focusing on, okay, I really want to make this thing go forward. Now, the last card we have, which is ultimate fulfillment of this life cycle, is a card that talks about really finding the time to be able to do this. Things moving really, really fast. I think that if you're going to pull this off, you have to make it move really fast. You have to get some momentum going quickly. And I think that, part of that is this whole thing about work is not paying as much as you want it to pay. And so because it's not, you're having to make this other thing work quickly because you're not able to pull finances from work so much to cover this new thing that you're starting. So you have to make sure that whatever this is, it's going to get up and go on its own pretty fast. And so that's what I see you really focusing on at the end here, focusing on getting that new idea up and running as quickly as possible. And so that could get a little bit hectic and crazy. But I really like this card. This card tells me that basically this works well. But the reason it works well is because you are putting the energy and effort into it. So if you're willing to put the energy and effort into making this new idea work for you, you can be successful. If you have this new idea and you kind of just want to sort of halfway use it or just test it or stick your toe in the water, I don't see this as being successful. You have to, these cards basically talk about growing some momentum very quickly and getting off the ground very quickly so that this can be something that would be supportive of you. Okay, so that's what you've got, Capricorns. I hope that you find it helpful. Obviously, I do offer psychic tarot readings. I offer them live either via phone or Skype. And then I also offer 1 or 2 question readings, and those are pre-recorded. You can find all the information about my readings and how to book them, all my contact information on my website, and that's in the description box below. The web address is www.amista.info. Everyone have a fantastic day, and I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.